My name is Fernando, and I have a special gift. I speak to the dead. When I was a child, I heard a voice that warned me about an impending fire. That voice saved my life. Today, I use my gift to pass on messages for those left behind. Join me as I cross over the rainbow and connect with spirit. Every morning I wake up and begin my day like most people. I make myself a cup of coffee and get my brain up to speed with reality. In my reality, I hear and see things that come from those in spirit. People who have lived a physical life and now exist as a form of pure energy after their passing. I've been connecting with spirits for many years now as a professional psychic medium and share the messages they give me with my clients. In this next reading, I was reminded why we should live life to the fullest, why the experience of love is a precious one, and if you have it, embrace it, for that opportunity may be lost sooner than you realize. Whenever I do a mediumship session, I open myself up to communication with the other side, and whomever would like to come through is welcome to do so. Now, I am going to try to connect to a specific individual on your behalf, but I cannot say that that person is going to be the first person that pops forward. And they on the other side are a funny bunch, because even if the person doesn't step forward for whatever reason, whether their energy isn't strong enough for the connection yet, or because they want to be polite for other people, but whoever steps forward first, even if you don't know who it is right away, I'm just going to roll with it, because I know it's someone. If I mention some things or I share some things with you that don't make sense in the moment or you can't grasp, that is normal, that is okay. I do not expect you to understand everything that I'm sharing with you. I do expect you to connect with a lot of it, but there's some things you're probably going to have to go back and check with family members on. Now, the way that they come through, it's not like I can see them the way that I see you or hear them the way that I hear you. It's all mind-to-mind telepathic communication. So they don't use language, they don't use words. Now, they may try to give me the sounding of a name, or they may even try to spell something out that means something, but usually they connect through thoughts, emotions, and memories. And that's the way that they communicate. They're like, I've got to figure out how to get Fernie to say this or how to get him to say that. And they will drop something in my frame of reference, whether it's a symbol, a sign, a feeling, an emotion, a memory. And my job is to take that information and try to figure out what they're trying to say based off of that. Okay, so I've got this gentleman right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and kind of zone out, zone into them. And okay. Okay, so I'm hearing laughing, so I'm like, okay, am I making you guys laugh? What am I doing? So I'm hearing laughing. Okay, so far I've got 3 males and 2 females in spirit. I'm going to assume that one of the males is the one in the picture, but let me keep going and see if I can kind of figure this out for you. One of the females I think is going to want to go first, because she's kind of like raising her hand and she's like, hey, 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 hey. So she's wanting me to like be aware of her or acknowledge her. Okay, she's definitely an older energy, so she's not on your level. She would be older than you. This is a female mother figure, so this comes across in this way as well. She's also acknowledging your mom, or she's connecting herself to your mom. So is your mom on your mom's side passed? Is your grandmother on your mom's side passed?
Yeah.
Okay, so this female stepping forward, she's coming forward. She's like doing this, like she sees you, she sees you, she sees you, she sees you. So she's wanting to acknowledge that she's aware of you, she sees you, and she's around you a lot more than you realize. Is how she's putting it. You know, it's interesting because this woman, I think there's some love there, there's some softness there, but then I'm also feeling this, like either she liked things a certain way, or she had her way of doing things, and she was kind of a little bit, she could be a little stern. In other words, it's almost like you didn't really mess around with her. She kind of liked her way. Does that make sense?
If I think it is who it is, I've never met her,
okay,
but I have heard
Got stories. Your stories. All right. Let me keep going. So she likes her way. She likes things her way. She's talking about the three younger ones. The three younger ones. Do you know if she had three children or if your mom had three children? Because she's acknowledging the three younger ones.
Yeah, my mom has 3 girls.
That's it, because she's acknowledging the three younger ones. So she's wanting to acknowledge for your mom that she knows about the 3 girls. She knows about the 3 girls and that she's seen them. She's been with them. So she's wanting to let your mom know about that as well. She's also, it's interesting because she's almost, she's showing me a picture. And I feel like in this picture, I'm either wearing a white dress or a white blouse, or there's something about wearing white in this picture. So does your mom have a picture of her where she's either wearing white or there's some significant white picture of her? Because she keeps referencing this.
So my mom has a picture of my grandmother hanging in her house, and she's wearing it looks like a white dress or a white top.
Yeah, because she's acknowledging the picture that's significant and wearing this white in the picture. She keeps, she keeps taking me into, she's taking me into my stomach. What she's showing me, it reminds me of whenever somebody has blood-related issues, whether this be like an infection or cancer, but there's some sort of blood-related weirdness that she's acknowledging. Does that make sense?
Yeah. She passed away from what we believe to have been cancer, and yes, she had it, and we weren't really clear on what the issue was.
Yeah, she keeps acknowledging an L name. I'm trying to figure out if this is male or female because she's referencing an L name. I don't know if this is Louis or Loopy, but do you know if there's a Louis or Loopy in the family?
One of my mom's sisters, her name was Louisa.
Louisa, got it. Okay,
but I don't know.
Yeah, because that's why I was trying. It was weird because I was hearing a male. I saw a male's name, but I was seeing female. So I was kind of confused with what was going on there. Her sister is passed, correct? The sister Louisa is also passed?
Correct.
Got it. And this is probably one of the so this is probably the other female that she was referring to because she said that there were 2 females in spirit. She's also acknowledging that you get your toughness from her. So know where your toughness comes from because she's acknowledging having a tough personality. She says you get your toughness from her. It's funny because this male steps forward and it's like he's trying to be polite and he's trying to let them go first, but at the same time he's getting impatient. And I feel like impatience is part of his personality where he's like, okay, let's go. And that's how he's coming across in that way. So he's getting a little impatient there. Okay. As this male steps forward, he is acknowledging that he didn't know what was going on or he wasn't aware of what was happening before his passing. So either this happened fairly suddenly or this was unexpected and people were not expecting him to pass when he did. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He makes me aware of that. He also keeps acknowledging that they couldn't stabilize his condition, or it was almost like it was too far gone, or there was too much done that they weren't going to be able to stabilize or help him. He's showing me. Okay, got it. I'm seeing paramedics, and so I don't know if an ambulance or paramedics were called out to where he was because he's showing me like this whole scene where there's paramedics everywhere and people were trying to figure out or help, but there was just there's nothing they could do, and that's the way he's making me feel. So do you know if he was here one minute and he was gone the next?
Yes.
Got it.
He died unexpectedly.
Yeah. He's also acknowledging trauma to the body. So do you know there was actually physical trauma to his body? Because he's acknowledging there was damage to the body. And almost like he says, oh no, my pretty face. So it's like he's almost acknowledging his pretty face and how his face was damaged or was hurt or he wasn't as pretty as he's used to being after this happened because he's acknowledging that. He's also acknowledging, got it, he was buried, correct? There was a burial for him?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know they had a closed casket because he's acknowledging that either the casket was closed or they didn't want people to see him?
The casket was closed.
He is acknowledging the month of October or the number 10. Do you know if October or the number 10 is connected to him?
No.
Okay.
Not to him.
So it would be October, the month of October, or it would be the 10th of a month, like January 10th, February 10th, March 10th, April 10th. But he's acknowledging either the month of October or the number 10. He's also apologizing about the holidays. So I would assume that he passed right before the holidays because he's making me aware that this holidays kind of sucked because he passed right before. Do you understand that?
Okay, you just said something. Okay, so the number 10, so he passed away. My birthday is December the 10th.
Okay.
he passed away 4 days after my birthday, which was in December.
Got it. Okay. So that's probably what he's referring to, because he was acknowledging that 10th date, and he's talking about right before the holidays. So he's probably wanting to, first of all, he's wishing you a happy birthday. And he's making fun of you because he's getting older, and he's like almost making fun of you getting older. But he's also acknowledging the timing of his passing and how the holidays were really rough and they were hard because of his passing happening at that time. He also says that you felt like an outsider. Were you not as close to his family, or did you not have as close a relationship to his family?
At first, it was just him and I, and the only reason that I got closer to his family was because of his passing. It wasn't...
Got it. Yeah, because he makes me feel like when you went to the funeral, you felt like an outsider, or it almost felt like you were getting into his world, coming into his world, and you hadn't had access to that before, and so he's making me aware of that. He's sorry that he didn't get a chance to spend more time with you, or that he didn't get a chance to experience more with you, because he says you were a lot of fun, and he's acknowledging that you weren't the easiest person to be in a relationship with. He says, but he was up for the challenge, and that's how he makes me feel. So he's acknowledging that as well. Did you not get to the point that you were able to say I love you?
We didn't.
Okay, because he's acknowledging like you didn't get a chance to go to that point. He wants you to know that he loves you. He says he's got a chance to know you better after his passing, and he's been around you more. He knows you more, and so he can say that he loves you. All right, I've got one more male that I'm going to let in for a second before I let them go. This is definitely an older male, so this would be like father, grandfather. So this is coming across on that level in that way. I also feel like this individual either didn't speak very much, or they're not speaking as much for me because they're coming across in that way as well. They're also, I'm seeing bottles. So either they like to drink, or there were some issues with drinking and that may have affected their body. Do you understand who this could be?
Yeah, I have an idea. It might be one of my uncles.
Got it. He keeps acknowledging that he didn't listen. He was very stubborn, and he didn't listen. He wanted to do his own thing, and people would tell him and warn him. He didn't take it seriously, and it's almost like he did his own thing. There's a lot of stories about him when he was younger, because he keeps acknowledging that there's just a lot of different stories about him. He also is connecting himself to your father. Is he related to your father?
It's my father's brother.
That's it. All right. He's pulling back.
The second gentleman that came through, which is the picture that I sent you, that's Robert. He and I were dating, and it was just one of those things where you felt like, or I felt like he was the one.
Yeah.
And you know, he had beautiful kids. You know, his mother and his sisters were all wonderful people, but I never got to meet them. He spoke of me to them, from what I understand, and he passed away in a car crash. He had an accident 4 days after my birthday.
Right.
And he was ejected out of the car.
Wow.
And he had really a lot of bodily injury, and it's especially around his facial, his head. He had trauma to his head. So there was nothing that they could do for him. He died at the scene, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the holidays were really, really rough for us. And this third gentleman that came through, it sounds like it's my dad's brother. And he had a drinking problem.
Wow.
He was really kind of dealing with that. People warned him to stop drinking. People warned him to take his medication. And he just wanted to do his own thing. He didn't listen.
Right.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. Kind of puts a lot of things into perspective for me, and especially, you know, with past relatives that I never even thought they even, you know, would think of me.
Yeah. Because
I never really, like my grandmother, I never got to really spend a lot of time with her. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for what you do. Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's interesting that she would bring that up, because obviously it's something that I know about and, you know, have proof of at this point.